everybody, this is Ariane Arsenault from iles-de-la-madeleine Handmade Soaps. Today I want to show you something that spiked my interest a few months ago, and I've been juggling with the idea of creating such a product for my own personal use in my home and then to translate it into my business. So it's not a product that I invented myself. It's been around for at least 10 years from the research that I was able to make. So what we're going to be making today is called in French cake Vaisselle, and I'm going to spell it out for you right here if you want to Google it and search on this topic. I decided to translate its name to dish cake, which is basically a solid dish detergent to wash your dishes rather than using a liquid version in a plastic bottle. This is also in the zero waste or minimal waste movement in mind, and as I am always thinking and trying to minimize my ecological footprint, I thought this was a wonderful idea and I really wanted to share it with you guys. As I said, this has been around for at least 10 years from what I could find. I was not able to find who originally invented the name or the formula or who created this product. But I did find a lot of blogs mentioning and referring to the initial recipe, but that recipe has been removed since then, so I don't know. You can do your own research. There are many different variations on this type of products, but basically they're all similar. So the base ingredient is Sodium Cocoyl Isethionate noodles, which is a biodegradable surfactant which is derived from coconut. So this is a naturally derived surfactant. I get mine from Windy Point Soaps in Calgary. They're here in Canada. There are other places to buy it, I guess, around in the world. So this is just where I get mine because I'm Canadian. And I've also seen a recipe using Sodium Coco Sulfate, which is also an EcoCert and Cosmo certified surfactant. But I'm using Sodium Cocoyl Isethionate today because this is what I have the most in stock, and it's a very gentle surfactant. Also, we're going to be needing some sodium carbonate. Now, if you don't know what sodium carbonate is, it's also called washing soda, and I actually made mine from baking soda that I converted to washing soda. I'm not going to teach you how to do this today. You can buy your washing soda pre-made, or you can learn about it online and make your own. It's not that complicated. We're also going to use distilled water, white vinegar, and some essential oils, but those are optionals. You can put them in to add a nice scent to your final product, or you can leave them out if you prefer. And then we're going to be using a bain-marie. I have no idea. Double boiler? Oh yeah, that's how you say it in English. So I have a hot water bath and then a metal bowl sitting on top, and this is on a hot surface induction burner. Because Sodium Cocoyl Isethionate can be really airborne when you handle it, you're going to be wearing a mask, gloves, an apron to protect your clothing, and we're going to be packaging these into some fun and practical and reusable mason jars. So when you're done with your solid dish cake, then you can reuse the jar for something else or make another one in it. So without further ado, let's hop into the bowl. I will measure out my Sodium Cocoyl Isethionate. You can use the noodle form. That's what I have on hand. You can also use the powder form. Then I'm going to add the distilled water, and this will help to melt the Sodium Cocoyl Isethionate. And this, you would really want to do this with distilled water because you don't want anything to grow in your product once it's done. Put all the chances on your side. And some vinegar. The vinegar will help to give a nice shine to your dishes. Okay. So now I'm going to turn on my induction burner, get this on a rolling boil, and then put my product on it and allow it to melt. I will go ahead and add my sodium carbonate into my mix. I will stir it in, and now that my water is boiling, I'll be able to start melting all of these ingredients together. course, the sodium carbonate won't be melting. It's just going to be dispersing in the mix. And what it does in here is actually helps to remove the dirt from your pots and pans. You know, it'll kind of be a little bit of sandpaper action in there. Okay, so let's transfer this on the double boiler. This will get rather hot, and I have this little, it's not a mitten, but it's like a mitten. So I'm just gonna use it to prevent myself from burning my hands. You could also use a heat mitten. I don't even know how to call these in English. We just call them mitaine in French, and mitaine à four. So there you go. And I've been making the solid shampoos for a long time now, and I've been wondering, like, what else could I be doing with my Sodium Cocoyl Isethionate, because I mean, it lathers up so nice and it washes so well. So I started digging, and that's how I actually discovered the solid dish cakes. So I'm just gonna keep on turning and waiting until the SCI noodles start to melt. They will take a little while, so I'm just gonna be going back and forth, turning this around so that, you know, they evenly heat up, and they will melt, but not to a complete liquid state. They'll just kind of go to a mushy, mashy, mashed potato paste kind of a texture. And when it looks like a paste, that's when I'm gonna turn off the heat and then add in my essential oils and pack these in the mason jars. With a little bit of time and patience and stirring and some elbow grease, you will get to a consistency that looks like this. It kind of looks like mashed potatoes. You can still see some of the SCI noodle, but that's okay. Most of them are melted now. And this is when I will turn off the heat. This little burner is very practical, but it is a little noisy. So I'm just gonna remove this from the heat and put it on this surface here. I'm just gonna take my mitten and, oops, can't quite get it lifted from under here. Okay, there we go. And careful, be very careful. This is hot. Okay. I have an infrared thermometer, and it's set in Celsius because I want to make sure that before I add my essential oils that my mixture is cooled enough. Now, out of these two essential oils that I'm using today, tea tree is the one with the lowest flash point, being 47 Celsius. So I want to make sure that I will add these essential oils below 47, and we are now at 63 Celsius. So we're going to wait a little bit. While everything is cooling down, I'm gonna go ahead and prepare my essential oil blend. The temperature is now okay to add the essential oils, and I'm just going to drizzle them in and slowly mix them in just so I don't get them splashing out of the bowl. I'm just sort of folding them into the mix, and it smells really good. I love the scent of lemon, and it is a grease fighter, so it's a bonus to have it into this product. So let's mix it all very well. Let's switch side and start packing these into the mason jars. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know how much I like to be accurate, and this is why I always fill my products on a scale. So I'm just gonna start filling the jars, and here's what I do. To get everything packed at the bottom, I take something that's cushioning and I knock it down. And I'm just gonna keep packing until I have 250 grams. Ta-ta! Okay, let's move on to the next. And what I do with the leftovers from my bowl is that I wait until it hardens up, and then I scrape it all out, and I'm gonna keep it in a little jar on the side just to wash some dishes over here so that I don't waste any, because there's still gonna be, you know, plenty stuck to the bowl. So I save this, and when it's gonna be dry, I'm gonna scrape it with a metal spoon, and it'll kind of chip off, and then I will get some powder detergent for my own dishes here at the soap shop. Now let's clean up the bowls, and I'm gonna show you the lids that we will be using on these. In this second bowl, I have our second solid dish cake, and this one is the exact same recipe, except the blend of essential oils we are using in this one are mandarin, which is why this is bright orange, and lavender. As I said before, lemon has grease-fighting properties, and so do have most of citruses, and mandarin smells absolutely wonderful blended with the lavender. I find this really soothing and relaxing. So if you're gonna be washing dishes, you know, you may as well do it with good smelling products. So I'm using a clean, damp rag, and I'm just gonna go around each jar and wipe off the excess, just like so. So we have a nice clean jar. And this way, it'll be easier for me to put the cap on these. However, because these are still hot and they're still warm and soft, we're gonna wait until they're fully hardened before closing the lids. Once these are fully dried, there will be the lid that will be placed on top to close these up. And I've created a nice little label that's called Cake Vaisselle, Cake Dish, Lemon and Tea Tree. Of course, my labels are bilinguals because we are in Canada and everything needs to be in French and English. There's also directions, the ingredients, the address of my soap shop, and the weight of the product. If you would like to be really eco-friendly, you can pair these beautiful solid dish cakes with a loofah. So loofah, of course, you can take into the shower and it makes a wonderful exfoliant, but you can keep them as well in your kitchen as they are wonderful scrubbers for pots and pans. They are from a squash, so fully organic matter that will compost or biodegrade whenever you're done using it, and it's too used up to be used in the kitchen anymore. So these are really eco-friendly. As a matter of fact, all of our solid dish cakes come with a slice of loofah. Once you're done with your loofah, you will probably have some leftover dish cake because these will last up to 6 months. Most natural health stores will carry loofah. Sometimes you can find them in drugstores, so you can find them literally anywhere nearby where there's a natural food store or something like that, or healthcare. Many soap makers carry them, so you can just grab another one. And I would like to know if you would be interested in buying these online, because as of now, they are only available in our store here in the Magdalene Islands. But if there's interest, I will leave a poll right up there, and you can click yes or no. Would you like to buy these online? So that I know if there's interest, I could actually add them to our line of products. And I'm just taking all of the little bits and the little leftovers and putting them into a smaller jar for my own personal use. And then I'll take you to the sink just to show you how nicely this product lathers up with water. Okay, so I'm just gonna put this aside. So as soon as the water hits the solid cake, dish cake, it starts to foam and lather. There is more than just cleaning dishes that you can do with the solid dish cake. So you can basically take your scrubby and use the solid dish cake to wash your countertops, your ceramics, and even your stovetops. Because remember, we did add some sodium carbonate to this formula. And so, if your stovetops needs to be cleaning, you can use this to scrub off any dirt from your stovetop. So this is really a product that is polyvalent, that has many uses, and it's definitely good to keep around the house. Voila! My stovetop is sparkling clean. Thank you so much for joining me today in the making of the solid dish cake. I really hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you would like to give these a try, I will leave a recipe down below in the description box, as well as a few other links to other recipes that I found online. So you can try your own, you can try my recipe or my version of it, and you can hopefully read the French blogs that I will link. Also, there are so many ways to package these and, you know, label them. Right now, I'm just using mason jars because this is what I have, but I'm working with a local ceramist artist, and he will be making me some containers out of pottery so that we can have a unique container that will be, you know, something like a keepsake after using the solid dish cake. We will have them in the two versions in the mason jars because, of course, the ceramic dishes will be a little bit more expensive, and this will be the basic model. So if you try them, let me know. Tag me in social media. I'd really like to see your creations. I hope I got you inspired by the ideas that I borrowed from our cousins over on the other side of the ocean in Europe. And I will see you again very soon. Oh my gosh, this is so noisy. There's like a machinery that's blowing all the snow that we've had. So sorry about that. I will see you guys very soon. Bye-bye.